Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. If you've not seen me before, my name is Abby, the Mindset Fairy, and I'm here to provide you with guidance on how to turn your dreams into a reality. If you have seen me before, then welcome back. So today's video is a little bit off piece. It's a little bit different to what I normally do, and it's a really personal one for me. I mean, all these videos are personal because they're based off my experiences, but today is one that I've really had to psych myself up for because I'm going to be a little bit more open with you. I've mentioned before that I've been through some challenges and things that haven't always gone to plan, and that I've had to overcome quite a lot of obstacles to get to where I am today. But today I'm going to talk a little bit more about those obstacles and how my mindset has really changed the way that I view the past, I think is the best way to say it. So first of all, I do want to say that I am talking about a victim mindset today. So if you are a Karen and you think that I'm invalidating anyone that's a victim or anything like that, you can just scroll on, because that is not what I'm doing at all. That's not what this is about. But if that's your viewpoint, then please check out one of my other videos. But if you are going to stay here, then hopefully learning a little bit more about my experiences might help you with your experiences and help shift your focus on how you can actually start to achieve those goals and get yourselves out of those situations, or the mindsets that are keeping us within those situations. So what do I mean by a victim mindset? So a victim mindset is, it's not the same as being a victim, though it often comes from a situation where you have felt victimized. So throughout our lives, all of us go through experiences where we feel that something has been unfair to us. So it could be that you're being passed over by promotions because your face doesn't fit in the company or what they want, or they're always giving promotions to their friends and their family members and people that are well connected, so you are a victim of that situation. It can be a victim of like discrimination, obviously that's a massive thing, or it can be victims of abuse, which is something that I am. I am a victim of abuse. I have been in a abusive relationship, which I am on my way out of, an abusive situation at the moment. A victim mindset is slightly different, because the mindset part of being a victim is that viewpoint that because of the situation that you're in or the situations that have happened, you are unable to move forward because you approach it with a situation of you're going to become a victim again, or that situations will never turn around or progress, and therefore you no longer try for those new opportunities. And that's what we mean by a victim mindset. So I'm not saying that it never invalidates what you've been through, but it's how we take those experiences and how we view those experiences to move forward on and to move on with our lives. And in this, there's obviously a lot of healing that we need to do, and a lot of exploring sort of what happened and the whys and the wherefores, and learning how to deal with it, because that is really important. But I'm not invalidating that side at all. But the victim mindset itself is the part of it that holds us back. So victim mindset is what holds us in that situation of how we were feeling, when we were feeling trapped, when we're feeling lost, when we're feeling that we don't have control over a situation, that we can't find our way out of it, that there is no way out. When you feel like that, that is your victim mindset. And what I have experienced and what I've learned to do is to pull myself out of that and not draw a line under it, but look at it as, do I want to view my future opportunities, my future experiences from that place? Or do I want to view it as a place of, yes, that has happened, but I want to move forward? And that's what I'm kind of talking about today. So when it comes to things that are, I don't want to say more impactful or more dramatic, but everyone will have a different experience and have a different take on what they've experienced. So for me, I spent most of my adult life in a financially abusive relationship. finance abuse, mental, emotional abuse, the sorts of things that unless you have directly experienced, you kind of don't realize how much it impacts people. So just because my partner didn't hit me doesn't mean that it wasn't abusive, and didn't mean that it wasn't controlling, and doesn't mean that it didn't decimate all of my confidence, because it did. And it's taken me a long time to see that, and then to want to do something about it, and to feel that I'm no longer trapped. And the victim mindset effectively keeps us there. It keeps us in that situation, even if that situation has ended, even if you've left that relationship, you've left that job where you were being discriminated against, you've left that situation, that feeling of feeling trapped, of having things outside of your control stays. And that's where the victim mindset comes in and holds you in that place. And for me, that was something that happened for a very, very long time. It really impacted my confidence. It impacted my health. It affected my my eating habits, my fitness, my relationships outside of that, my friendships, my relationship with my children, my relationship with my family. And when all of the elements of your life are impacted by it, and you feel like everything is outside of your control, it becomes very difficult for you to see the way forward. And it also becomes very difficult to look at trying to retrieve your dreams. So we all have these dreams, but when you're in a situation where you feel that things are outside of your control, we go into a really defensive mode. And we also become kind of standoffish to the idea of us being able to achieve anything outside of that. And this was definitely an experience for me. I felt that I couldn't make a success on my own and a business on my own. I felt that I couldn't stand on my own 2 feet and look after my children and have that stability without someone there. And that was because I was in a victim mindset. And one day I just kind of decided that that's not what I wanted from my life anymore. And it doesn't change overnight. But when you start to make those decisions that actually know you deserve more, you deserve to go for those dreams, you deserve to go for that life that you really desperately want, it then starts to feel less unachievable and starts to feel like you can actually start to work for it. And this isn't something that just changes. And this isn't something, and I'm not saying that you will, once you're out of it, you'll always be out of it, because I have days where I'm pulled straight back into that mindset and I hibernate all day. Basically, I feel rubbish. I'm like crying, getting really stressed with my children. I don't feel proactive, and I feel like everything is coming against me again. And you will feel that you're dragged back into it. But with going through the motions of allowing yourself to feel that, releasing it, letting it go, accepting what has happened, that's a big thing. That's been a massive thing for me, is accepting this. And then going, but I do want different. And what can I do different? And making just little steps every single day to try and make things different. It does get easier and it does get better. And then your goals don't seem so far away. And you will probably always have that shadow on your heart from what's happened. I certainly do. And I spent years with zero confidence, and I'm only really just sort of coming back into myself, into my true self again. And all of that is a process, but the main thing is to recognize that within yourself, and recognize when you're starting to feel trapped and overwhelmed, and just like everything is going to come up against you. It's important to take a step back and breathe, drink some water. Hydration is really important, and just kind of think, am I feeling like this because of what's happened? Or am I feeling like this because I'm scared of what I could achieve? And fear is a big part of it, especially when you felt like you've had to make yourself smaller, when you felt that you had to squish yourself into someone else's box. Fear of stepping out of that box is such a major part of it. I was terrified. I still am terrified, to be completely honest, about how everything's going to land and lay out. But the important thing is, by making those steps, putting yourself first, because we can still prioritize our friends and our family and our children and our jobs, but by putting that investment into yourself, because you are worthy of it. You are absolutely worthy of putting in more into yourself and working towards those dreams, because if you don't do it, then no one is going to do it for you. And as difficult as it is to get out of situations, it is always possible, though you might not feel like it now, or you might be out of the situation already and you feel yourself getting dragged and pulled back into it, and that's perfectly normal. But by shifting our mindset to, but I do deserve better and I am going to slowly work towards better, we are starting to shift out of that victim mindset, and we start to recognize it in ourselves, and we start to recognize, actually, I am pulling myself back. I'm just going to take a breather, take a breath, and I'm going to try and shift it, put a positive spin on it, because whatever you've been through will have been awful for you. It would have been, and no one can take away how that has impacted you. Even if people don't think what you've been through is really that much, for you it was. And that's an important thing to recognize, is that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. If it impacted you, then you deserve to feel the way that you do about it. But also, you need to remember that you are still here, because however hard it's been, you have stayed. You've stayed on this earth, which is something that I multiple times nearly didn't. But you are still here. You're watching videos like this to learn how to get through it. And that's so important for you to recognize that in yourself, and recognize just how strong you are and just how deserving you are of everything you've ever wished for. And when we start to remind ourselves of that and remember that, we can really start to fight those demons and fight that part of ourselves that felt so alone, and find ourselves again. And that's how you find your way back to your dreams. So that's really what my message is today. It's a bit of a heavy one, I'm afraid, but I do hope that it helped, and I'll speak to you all soon.